So Senator, this borrowed money and the interest is less money that could go to fixing our roads, less money that could go to possibly tax relief, less money that could go to a lot of things. We've bound this money and extra interest, not of the current taxpayer, but the future taxpayer. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, what you're referring to, Senator from Anderson, is something that the economist Bastiat referred to as the broken window fallacy. And that broken window fallacy is a famous piece that was written over 100 years ago, but it's got relevance today. And that the argument was made or postulated in that story that by taking a stone and throwing it through a window and breaking that window, that was something good for society because the owner of that shop then had to retain a glassmaker to repair the glass. And everybody can see and everybody can look at the shop owner taking that money and giving it to the person manufacturing the glass and fixing the pane. We all see that. But what we don't see is what that shop owner would have done with that money had he not had to pay for the broken window. So and the way the story goes is he may have taken that money and gone out and bought a new suit. And by buying a new suit, he may have created employment in that way. But here's the broken window fallacy. We see the jobs being created by Boeing, and that's a good thing. We see that piece of land being developed, and that's a good thing. What we don't see are the opportunities and things that never occurred because of that. I mean, what I would argue is, instead of taking and providing for incentive packages for Assembler Corporation, for a shopping mall, or exempting Amazon from having to pay taxes that everybody else has to pay, or in this instance, borrowing $120 million and having taxpayers pay the bill and giving it to a private company for their use, instead of doing that in terms of promoting our economy and driving our quality of life, we ought to be lowering taxes for everybody. We ought to be lowering taxes across the board. We ought not to be targeting who enjoys the benefit of society's wealth. We ought not have a system where lawmakers decide who gets the benefit.
Senator, are you telling me...
I'd lost my train of thought.
Are you telling me that it's better to keep taxes high and then folks have to come on their knees to the General Assembly to get these breaks? But that keeps the power here, doesn't it?
That's the mentality, is that, and look, again, I don't blame Boeing. I don't blame Amazon. I don't blame any large corporation because this is the way the game is played in the United States today. And more's the pity. We wonder why we're in economic decline. We wonder why we have deficits and rampant corruption. It's because instead of letting the marketplace work, instead of letting capitalism work, we require people to go to Washington, D.C. on a national level or to state capitals on a state level and beg for favors and beg for special treatment. And so then it becomes a situation where you got to hire the best lobbyists and develop the best relationships. And that's the way you're going to get ahead in this economy. That is not what made us the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. What made us the wealthiest nation in the history of the world is the rule of law, due process, the notion of equal justice under law, the idea that somebody out there could take their money and their idea and work hard and benefit and enjoy the fruits of their labor. That is what made us the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. This sort of thing did not. We did not become the wealthiest nation in the world by adopting a policy whereby you went ahead and borrowed hundreds of millions of dollars and requiring taxpayers to pay it back and taking that money and giving it to another private company. Okay, that's not the free market. That is not capitalism. That is a state-directed central planning approach. And I think that's the main reason for one of our economic decline. Our freedom index has gone way down.
Central planning. Where did you get that term, Senator?
The whole notion that the economy or the well-being of society is dependent upon the state allocating capital.
That's been proven to fail in other places.
Of course it has. Of course it has. Because in the Soviet Union, and any society really that has attempted a command economy, you've seen that. Look at North Korea and South Korea. There you have two geographically similar nations. They're culturally similar people. But if you look at the quality of life and you look at the standard of living of South Koreans compared to North Korea, it is a stark contrast. And I would submit to you, it is a direct function of the market economy being allowed to work in South Korea, and in North Korea, the central government planning the allocation of resources. Now, I'm exaggerating to make a point. I'm not saying that if we adopt this bill, we become North Korea. But the point stands. The point stands. Principles matter. The rule of law matters. The concept of equal justice under law matters. The idea that one taxpayer can't have wealth taken from him or her and given to another taxpayer, that matters. And it's a slippery slope we go down when we start to adopt that. This is a wonderful project. Boeing is a wonderful company. I'm extremely excited that they chose to come to South Carolina. I think they came here, or would like to think they came here, because we've got one of the best ports in the world with Charleston. We've got a great technical college system. We've got low property taxes. We have right to work built into our state constitution. We have a lot of things going for us as a state that helps us attract industry. But what I would submit to you is where the state should stop is in taking money from other taxpayers and giving it to another private party in the name of economic development. That has proven to fail, and I think it's a dangerous precedent.